Mom, I don't feel safe here.
I've not heard that one before. Does your mom even watch the videos?
She does.
Shout out to Miguel's mom. What's your mom's name?
Gabriella.
Thanks, Gabriella.
For making this beautiful human being.
Oh, stop. You're going to make me blush.
He just did this.
You know?
You're gonna make me blush.
Man, Billy.
Stay strapped.
Stop.
Oh, it's a cap gun. Reload.
That's so much, dude.
Yummy.
Oh, you know you have to.
Can I get the subtitles, please?
Yeah, can they be in Spanish?
Bienvenidos. Same thing in my interview. I sound like every generic white guy.
That's true. If you close your eyes, you're white. Go ahead, talk. No, not if you close your eyes.
You just magically go pale.
I love PBR.
More pale.
I love hearty sandwiches.
PBR. That's fine. Is yours about the meta, though?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yours is part of the meta discussion. Mine is not. Mine's just a question.
That don't matter.
That don't matter?
I hate how good
Why
you
are
are
you
with
like?
those.
Yeah, why are you like
Because
this?
immediately is like...
It's never off. It's 24/7. You could wake him up from a nap and he doesn't even know you're there, and he'll do one to you.
Yeah, I have to.
I just heard
You don't.
I just heard you swallow and it just made me. ASMR, baby. That's how we reach a new audience. ASMR.
I hate this so much. Perros.
Dogs?
Yeah.
Dogs.
Dogs.
Gatos.
My dogs are kept.
We like gatos.
We like gatos. Muchos. Muchos gatos.
So yeah, you both have hella cats.
Mm-hmm.
I got a cat.
He's a big boy though.
I just
alright?
have two.
Hella.
Nothing crazy. I just have two.
It's 3 more than I would
I
have.
thought Trace was 3, not hella.
Yeah, you're right.
We're just learning new stuff every day.
Uno, dos, hella. I'm not ready.
Bro, we've been talking for 30
I
minutes.
know. I hate this.
You're supposed to start after the clap. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Alright, ready?
Donde está? We are the Island Guardians, the 14th best place to find Pokemon TCG and Pokemon content in general. And this is a new season. Welcome.
Season 2.
Gang, gang.
Episode
one of the
1. The boys are back in town. Today we will be covering Who's That Pokemon? Some questions of the day, which is a new segment. We're going to talk about some meta discussion, since these two are going to Orlando.
Yes, sir.
What?
And then we will be covering some Scarlet and Violet spoilers, I think.
Is it a pre-release?
Huh?
The whole set is a pre-release.
Just the
Probably
pre-release
just
spoilers.
because it's a little bit difficult to find stuff right now.
Yeah, let's get
So,
things.
here
At
we
least,
go.
at least actual information.
Do you want to kick it off with the Who's That Pokemon?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, also,
Oh,
put down what decks you want, or you think Miguel and I should play for Orlando. Or if you just don't care and you're watching it, put a hammer emoji in the comments. Just
I
put
think-
something down there. Let us know you're here.
I think I should play Victinian, but everyone says no.
I say no.
Good thing you're not everybody.
Everybody's favorite segment. Who's?
That.
Pokemon. Anyways, this Pokemon. I need glasses. Holy cow. This immensely dangerous Pokemon possesses overwhelming physical strength. Its habitat is generally off limits.
Huh.
It is 6'11". He's a big boy.
He's tall.
He weighs 297 pounds.
It's bigger than you.
Yes, he is bigger than me.
For reference, everyone.
For reference,
This Pokemon is bigger
is
than Miguel.
bigger than Miguel.
he towers over me.
Alright, first one to put the correct Pokemon in the comments. We'll get a how many card pack?
10 card pack.
Alright, and it's going to be... I'll give you a Brilliant Stars. I got another one of those left.
What's crazy is the classification. Is it okay if I read it?
It
doesn't give it away at all.
Okay.
I thought that was weird.
Oh, sure.
They classified as a strong arm Pokemon.
They talked about its strength, so.
I thought that was weird. Like,
Strong arm
be in the
Pokemon.
gym.
That is weird for what
is
it
it just one arm or both strong?
That's really weird for what it is, though. Okay, there it is.
All right, Jeff, you want to roll with your question first?
My first
What's your
question. It's not.
What's on your mind, buddy?
It's Pokemon related, but
What's on your mind?
It's not TCG related. But
Okay.
what are your top 3 Pokemon that you wish had an evolution?
Lapras. I wish there was a baby Lapras.
Baby Lapras would be cool,
Oh.
like super cool.
I would love a baby Lapras for
Would
sure.
you want it to go baby then Lapras, or
Yeah.
we want Lapras to go somewhere?
No,
You want
something
Lapras to be
before
final,
Lapras.
though.
Yeah.
But Lapras looks so cool; they can make him look even cooler.
Well, he had a Mega, didn't he? Not a Mega. He had a.
Gigantamax.
Yeah, that's not the same thing. Yeah.
We're not counting those.
No, that doesn't count as an evolution. It's not a real evolution. Got any more? Got 2 more? What's your top 3? If you know one, go ahead.
Aerodactyl would be kind of cool.
Aerodactyl would be cool, but it comes out of a fossil. It doesn't have an evolution, but that would be cool. I think Skarmory needs one.
Skarmory's kind of fire.
Skarmory's pretty sick. I mean, we already have Corviknight, which is like a steel bird, but I think Corviknight's lame.
Yeah, he's
Skarmory's
okay.
pretty cool. Like, I remember first playing the games and seeing Skarmory, and I was like, I'm putting that on my team.
He was horrible, but yes, I wanted him on my team.
But he looks so cool.
Didn't we catch shinies
Shinies
shinies?
I think it was me, you,
I think it was
Carlos,
just
and Calvin, but only me and you got the shiny. Same spot, same one.
same spot, same
And then
CP, same IVs.
It showed up for Calvin, too. And it
Same
wasn't
exact shiny.
So, yeah, Skarmory would be sweet.
That was pretty cool.
Mr. Mime would be kind of cool.
There's a baby, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Miss Baby Mime? Mime Jr.?
Mime Junior.
Mime Jr. There you go. What else?
Heracross. He's a mega form, but like...
Yeah.
Him and
Heracross would be
Venusaur.
cool. Obviously, I think Delmai should have one.
Subjective, but okay.
That'd be sweet. Carry an even bigger something.
It's a
Like-
giant tank.
So it's a misconception because the Delmais is actually the green seaweed that carries the anchor.
Oh!
So Delmais is not an anchor.
Mm.
That's just what it carries around. And it can one-hit KO Wailords, apparently, in the lore. But anyways, I think it'd be cool if it evolved to something different. Or just carry something larger. It wouldn't really be like an evolution because it's still the green seaweed-looking
This
stuff.
would be a little bit
So-
controversial, but what about Rayquaza? I know it's a legendary, but what if there was like a baby or...
I don't know if
even
they
a
could do that with it.
evolution?
Legendary.
Yeah, I don't know if they could do that with any of the legendaries. Like, I think there's a couple bad legendaries, but I think a lot
Like
of
what?
them. I don't want to say anything.
I'm not gonna say it. Say it with your chest.
Well, I don't like Palkia at all.
Really? I like Pop.
I think he looks lame.
Nah. My boy, like...
Dialga's way cooler looking.
No, he's on a
False.
horse, dude. Dialga all the way.
Whatever. But I don't think a legendary could evolve. They're legendaries.
What if we
they don't
could
need to.
find the original form of Genesect?
That'd be kind of cool. What else has forms? There is an original form of Rotom, though, so you couldn't do that one.
Mm-hmm.
What else changes into stuff?
Ditto?
Baby Ditto? Would it be baby anything?
It's just Ben 10?
Anyways, I saw that question asked, and I was like, that's a pretty good one. I don't know if any other ones I would really want, like you could think of right away, because a lot of the Pokemon I like are pretty solid, and they already evolve. Like the ones that I like.
The Scizor had a cool evolution, but there you got Cleaver.
Yeah. Well, that was my question for you.
Miguel, what's on your mind? What's your question?
I want to know why people are not playing Zero Aura VMAX in the TCG game.
The VMAX and the V-Star. I think the V-Star is good too, but...
Specifically the VMAX. 2 electric energy.
Yeah.
Can you pull it up real quick?
I'll pull it up.
Thanks. 2 electric energy.
Luckily for you, I have one right here.
What? Up my sleeveys.
Koga's trap.
I hit it. VMAX. Well, we're getting it in Crown Zenith, right? So
Yeah.
maybe people will play it more because right now it's a promo and you have to buy it, and it's kind of lame. I mean, you buy
That's
it
why
the other
people
way
weren't
anyways.
playing more
But,
Pecco.
yeah. Okay.
What's stopping you from getting?
I'll throw it up on the
big screen
here. All right, Zeraora VMAX is 2 energies, reactive pulse, does 60 damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play that has an ability, so that kind of destroys a lot of things right now. And then you have 2 lightning colors, max fist, 240, discard 2 energy from this Pokemon, and Flaffy still exists, so I don't think that it's a bad card at all.
Weak to fighting.
Yeah, weak to fight, which is not
apparent.
Nothing's playing fight right now.
Okay.
It's got 320 HP, which is
average.
pretty solid. So you have to be able to do 160 fight.
One shot non-weak lightning, they would have to have 5 or 6 Pokemon in play with abilities.
360.
It's
390.
Yeah, it's 60. So if they had 5 on the bench, that's 300. They would have to have at least 5.
Yeah.
So 5 in play to get a knockout.
My thoughts are like, Duraludon. You're not hitting that hard enough to make it matter. But then you still have the max fist, so I guess.
Yeah, you can still have 240.
You can kind of trade with it a little bit.
My point of view is like you can, depending on your matchup, obviously. Like, Duraludon's kind of a hard one, but like you can max fist, discard the energy. You can Cheryl next turn because they're gonna hit into you. You know what I'm saying?
And discards the other one anyways because of the Cheryl.
You flap it back up.
You just have to be able to switch, right? Because you can't flap it to the active, so you'd have to have at least 2 in play. Yeah, you would have to make sure you didn't for some reason. They could both have damage on it. You would just ruin energy counts, but yeah, 2 flappies and an attach from hand.
And with 2 retreat costs,
I think the only thing that's keeping that back is Lost Box, because Lost Box makes it so you can't rely on a single prize engine. Unless you're playing Lost Box itself, because it can just it can just Sableye, it can just Greninja, it can Kyogre.
I don't think they beat a couple of those, though. Because, like, you're getting knockouts, you're getting, like, 3 knockouts in a row, boom, 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 because they're going to put Comfies down, they're going to play Radiant Greninja, they're going to play... I mean, all they need is 2 Comfies. And you're hitting 120, you're hitting 120s. And what are they going to do back to you on turn 2, they might be close to Mirage Gates, turn 3, you're probably getting hit with something, whether it be... Cramorant. Well, turn 2, you're probably going to hit with Cramorant.
Choice Belt Snorlax Cramorant knocks it out.
That's 2 hits, so somewhere in the middle there.
And that's two prizes to 3.
Yeah.
So, like, that's already favored prize.
Well, if you don't find Cheryl, I think you would have to heal it.
Yeah.
I mean,
So you'd have to play your supporter. So then you'd have to have a draw engine in the deck somewhere.
Speed energy. You play Greninja also. Discard energy.
You can play the Beebs if you want.
I don't know. I think the problem would be consistency. Like, that's what I ran into with Ice Rider. If you're relying on playing the same supporter every turn, then it's just rough. Like, because Ice Rider, you have to play Melanie every turn.
Yeah,
that's true.
It doesn't leave anything else open.
Because you end up not having space to put 4 Pokegears. Make sure you hit
it. Draw what you need.
Or the Palpats.
And then like this, it's you need that supporter plus an extra step. You need to Cheryl and have a retreat. Like a switch card, so then you could retreat back into it, because Flaffy only accelerates to the bench.
Well, yeah, I guess if you
I don't know. It's in a weird spot.
Well,
what's the V's HP?
The V is...
Because that could also be a reason why it's getting gate kept. If it's like
the V's pretty bad.
If it's like a 200 or a 190, that could be another reason why
there's 2 of them. So the Rapid Strike one's the first one that came out. It's a 210.
That's not
terrible. And it's the one with the Cross Fist, and then the other one's 210, I believe, as well.
Just one, I think.
No, there's a promo one. Because it came out in the box.
Oh, yeah.
Just click the end Pokemon. Oh.
I did the first time, and it didn't pull it up. 210. 2 energies for Claw Slash 50, and 3 energies for 190, and during your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. Which, that's not even bad. Because if you build to the 3... Mm-hmm. And then you evolve, that you just negate the stipulation, then you have your VMAX in play. And if it's 2 retreat and you're attacking with specifically just the ability one, you could just retreat those 2 off of it. And then well, it's only 2 dynamotors or 1 dynamotor attached from hand to your other one. Then you retreat and switch, and then you re-dynamotor the other one after you heal it.
I don't know.
It just seems like you get a high damage output just to prey on the abilities. Like, you wouldn't even have to do the 240.
So you think the top 3 decks right now in the meta is what? Lugia, Mew, Lost Box, I'd say.
I think Lost Box, you might not be super favored, but if they have a bad start, you just win.
Yeah.
Because they have to put themselves in lethal range for you to attack. And then Lugia, all they need to do is V-Star, and it puts the 2 Archeops in play, and then they're toasted from there.
Yeah.
And then if they put down a Rangaroo...
Lugia V-Star has an ability too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you have those 2 as 120, and that's not going to one-hit it. You have to include the Lugia's V-Stars. You have to have 3. But then if they put down Luminion and don't swing with it on that turn, if they put down Charizard, if they put down Rangaroo, like...
And then you can horn things back up.
Yeah.
Like,
with abilities on them?
Yeah.
If they play the Dunsparce, though, this is why you have to play the V-Star.
So like a 2-1 split?
And the V-Star has free retreat.
Yeah.
So the V-Star, I'll pull that one up.
This is an idea I talked to Miles about, like playing for Orlando.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
I don't know if it's good.
If you're
V-Star,
wanting to test that out, we need to start jamming it now.
Yeah. So the V-Star is crushing beat 190.
We need to get that 60 set.
Yeah.
Which already takes 3. So if you're gonna suit your V for 3 and you go to the V-Star, you're already ready. The kicker of that being 4, that's kind of tricky, but if you don't know the V-Star, it is choose one of your opponent's Pokemon 4 times. You can choose the same Pokemon more than once. For each time you choose a Pokemon, do 60 damage to it. And this damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance. So you would have to... If they don't have Manaphy, that's just the easy. You just hit the Dunsparce, which has 60, and then you have 180 more damage to play with.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would probably just double hit or you would probably just triple hit an Archeops. Right?
Triple them
just
so
take one.
Or just take their Luminion or Crobat off the bench and just take 3 prizes.
If they have one of those down, because you still have 180.
Yeah.
So that's what you would do, right? I think the V-Star is nuts. The 270 is rough, but the free retreat is good. So at any point, you just have your pivot so that you can you could Dynamite or something else, and then you would obviously still play it with Zekrom, so you could hit and paralyze.
Okay, so what I'm also curious about is what makes this better than Magnezone, because Magnezone gives itself the consistency. Magnezone V-Star?
Well, let's just look it up.
Because if we're gonna go electric type,
then
then-
Davey was playing it yesterday. So Magnetic Grip is 1 electric, 2 colorless, 180. Search your deck for 2 item cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. And then you got the V-Star Power, which is just 2 lightnings. And this attack does 90 to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. That V-Star Power is not as devastating, but...
it also only takes 2, so you can pull it off right away to take the wins out of sales.
Yeah, if you go first against Lost Box, I guess you just go like comfy, and then...
Yeah.
But if
and
you're
then
playing...
the 180 can be bumped to 210. Even without a choice but it one-shots your Lightning Weak Pokemon. And then you
Crobats,
you force your opponent to go, I need to disrupt their hand because they just grabbed what they need for next turn.
Yeah, you make them Marnie. What 2 item cards do you get, though?
It could be Escape Rope, so you can or
So you can
Pokegear,
or you
Escape
just
Rope.
I guess you just grab switches or whatever.
You can just guarantee the switches and heals, but
Processes.
270 is a little bit weird.
Yeah.
It's the same HP as the Zero Aura V-Star.
Yeah.
So, like, that's already but if you're going V-Star route, I don't think you go the heal route.
No, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You only play Cheryl's if you're playing the VMAX on the Zero Aura.
Then you can also, like, force their bench. Like, you can grab Echoing Horns, you can grab Crushing Hammers, you can grab, like,
Yeah,
you can
grab
tempo
Echoing
them
Horns,
out of
for
the game and make their game really hard.
Magnezone is also weak to fight, so it's the same thing. And there's not a lot of fight right now, so...
I don't know.
The Aerodactyl.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of players are checking in the 1 energy so they can attack with it if they have to. Which is kind of a bummer.
I don't know. Because, like, this... both of them are weak to item lock. Like, if you get item locked, you're just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, I mean you can hopefully draw into the flaffies because after that all you need is to attack,
Yeah.
and then if
Your
your
board
thing
state.
gets knocked out, you get items or you get energy and discard pile and do it again. So it shouldn't be that hard, but yeah, anything's hard to deal with item lock, but I don't know.
That's my question. I don't know. I think
Try it out. Let's try it.
Yeah.
Let's build it. Let's
As
try
soon as
it.
I bought the promo box, I was like, man, these cards are good, and I opened them up, and they're just still sitting there. I just haven't tried it. Well, I only bought one of the boxes, so I just have one of each thing.
I looked at the Deoxys and thought the same thing. I was like, this could be really good.
Yeah, Deoxys
and
does seem
then I
good
was
too.
like, no.
Yeah. Okay.
Kim, what is your question of the day?
What stops Vikavolt from winning every event until Scarlet and Violet?
Me punching my opponent in the face.
Because that deck is insane.
It's pretty good.
What stops it from winning the rest of the events?
Because I feel like it has the solve 60 now.
Nah. You know what it is?
It's nasty.
Alec playing... What's the deck? I don't know.
Mad Party
Mad
list?
Party deck.
That's crazy Mad
I
Party
saw
list?
Miles struggle against that matchup.
I don't know.
That's because he was on turn 2 Ice Cube, though.
I was going to say.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it is basic.
Yeah.
And you only
play
have
basic,
basics. So that's the only thing.
Ice Cube is the only thing that could even...
Yeah, your small text can get you out of it, but you got to find it right away.
Out of 3. You got to find it twice out of 3.
I saw it firsthand.
Unless they don't scoop fast, and that first game takes a long time, and then you just let them take your items away, and you play your second match for a long time, and then, whoop, sorry, time's up.
I don't know.
I will agree, though, that Pickleball deck seems pretty rough played. I think it's a good player, anyways.
Yeah.
Who understands, their card count's one, what they're playing against. You can't play your item, which is 40% of your deck most of the time? Items alone?
40 to 50, yeah.
That's going to hinder you hard. You can't quick pull, you can't ultra pull, you can't escape, you can't energy surge, you can't do anything. You can't raw things back.
The only deck that I see that has a pretty decent matchup into it, on paper just against Vikavolt, would be Arcturalodon, but then they have the Lugia, the Aerodactyl to shut off their Arceus.
Mm-hmm.
And then what are they going to do?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. It's a tricky deck. It's not easy to play though. So that's where it's kind of getting held back a little bit.
A learning curve to it.
Yeah.
I think the Ditto cracked the code. Because now you can play aggressive or you can play Paralyzing Bolt.
I guess the Ditto's in there probably in case you prize one of your Vikavolts.
It's to put your opponent in a checkmate situation. It's like, hey, I can either go in to keep item locking you, or if you try to answer whatever one, Raikou, or I can go into it if you answer it, so it's set up again. And they can just keep going with whatever you think the problem is what they're going to keep doing. So, if you're like, ooh, if I knock out this Vikavolt, next turn, I get my items back. And they're like, psych.
Well, I guess it's the same thing as having 2 Vikavolts, but yeah.
But it's the versatility.
Yeah.
You don't have to bench 2 Vikavolts.
It's more of a mind game than
You can
else.
either go Raikou or Vikavolt, right? That's the only 2 options.
Or Aerodactyl. If they try to take out your Aerodactyl,
yeah,
really.
that's in there. Yeah, that is cool, so that you don't lose your turn of having it in play to not get to the V-Star.
It's kind of crazy.
Ditto's cool, yeah. I've always thought Ditto was a really cool card, but it didn't really work in a lot of things.
Jacob thought it was a really cool card too. He was rocking it for a while.
Yeah.
He's rocking that Ditto, dude. First time he came up to me, I was like, I want the prettiest Ditto card you got. And I'm like, what? He goes, Ditto V and V Max. I'm like, huh? Come again? And here it is, coming into the meta. Not quite how he had it, because he was rocking the V Max and everything.
Yeah, the VMAX is not as good.
Sorry, Jacob.
I don't know what else stops it. I mean, the consistency. The consistency is pretty good, but you're always gonna have games where you just can't get to the item lock, or you don't find the water to Melanie, or sometimes just giving your opponent the extra one turn without the items, they can get far enough to apply pressure, and then, like even Lost Box, you just go cram or whatever. If you can make it Sableye just by playing Chorus, like they win that match, I think.
They can.
They can.
But
The easiest, I think.
The problem with Lost Box is if they're not playing like 2 of every attacker, then you're going to eventually chew through their attacks, and they can't recycle them.
Yeah. So how do you get the knocks on the Comfies in there? Do you have to rely on the Goon? Because there's only one
No, you
Zap.
play the Zapdos. Yeah, Zapdos and Goon.
Yeah, so you have to play the Goon and then scoop it. Okay.
Yeah. Just don't start Zapdos.
Yeah. Don't start Zapdos.
Just don't be bad at the game.
The Zapdos does work out really well if you're going to go like full bench.
Mm-hmm.
If you got to do a full bench, both sides for Raikou to hit 220 and they're... That's 230, and if they're short on one, you're still hitting 210. So that's pretty cool, because there's a lot of V's at 210.
If you're worried about them right-clicking them like back, you can play around it so your bench is set up perfectly so that when you take that knockout, they can't get it
They
back
can't return.
unless they echo it.
Right. And if they're not playing the same thing, they're not going to have a Zapdos, so it wouldn't change anything.
Like that.
So you think that's all we're going to see in Orlando? It's a bunch of Vigavolts, no items?
No, I don't think the deck is... I think a lot of players like have that ego of like, I don't want to just item lock people, or that like a lot of people are like, it won an event out of like shock factor, and so it's not going to be good, or there's probably some tech out there that people have already found out to get around it, or there's so much. Winning a Pokemon event is so much meta-analysis that it's insane.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
You can be a good card player, you could have the best deck, but if you don't analyze that room, there's no...
And then hit the right matchups.
Yeah.
There's so many factors that go into it. Like, you could be a great player. I mean, you consistently see the best players in the top, and that's just because they're good. They work their way out of it. But there's a lot of people where their name is just not there, and it's just like, what happened? And they just probably got paired against a bunch of wacky things, or like...
Things you wouldn't
The worst thing you could do at a Pokemon Regionals is lose round 1.
Yeah, pretty much.
The worst, if you lose round 1, your day is so much harder than if you win.
Yeah, because you go to
you go to that weird side of the bracket.
Everybody who brought the off meta thing or the weird deck or their favorite deck, that's not as good.
Yeah.
And then you're round 2, you're playing against something weird.
And then you got to go against Victini, and you're like, bro, what do I even do in this situation? Let's go.
And then you lose round 2, and then you're just screwed. Yeah.
See, my luck is round 1, I get to see that weird off-meta thing, and I'm like, okay, how do I lose? And then I'm like, now I'm stuck in this cycle.
Struggle your way through round 1, yeah.
Kind of like Thursday when I played Mew and set across Grimmsnarl VMAX round 1. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? He went first, got 3 energies on board. I'm like, what?
Good old Gage for you.
I love Gage.
That was awful. I was so mad, and I almost got him still. I almost did it.
Yeah.
That was fun.
We got close on our match, too. I don't have a grass weakness hitter, but I had Mightyena, so Mightyena was, except for Grimmsnarl has 330, and Mightyena hits for 160, so I had to 3-hit it. So I had to hit it twice with Mightyena, and then I had to introduce this with Cinccino.
Yeah, no. My out was, I had Choice Belt, and I had the Mew on the bench, and he had his Grimmsnarl on the bench, so I had to find all 4 power tablets, Choice Belt, and cross switchers, and I found 3 power tabs and 1 cross switcher in it, and I had my choice. So I was like, I was so close to just winning right here.
Yeah, super close.
It was unfortunate.
What's your guys' opinion on Zorobox? Is it a gimmick? Is it a gimmick or is it good?
I think it's gate kept by Lost Box.
So you take the first knockout, or if not, even if you take the second knockout, you're good because you win with Slowbro. As long as they don't double knock you out, if you can play with Manaphy, you get there. If you take a knockout every turn,
they can set up some cheeky Sableye goon plays.
They just can't put anything on your Zoroarks. If you Phantom Transformation at the right time, you heal all those. So they got to go after your Cinchinos. But if you just stop putting them down, you don't need Cinchino the whole game.
Just to set up.
And they both have 90. So it would take them 2 turns to only kill.
I just
to only knock out one
Zorobox is a little bit less consistent.
It's all moving parts.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
Lost Box.
I mean, sometimes, yeah. I mean, it's like this. I mean, you go through the same scenarios. Lost Box just sees more cards, but you can still just get beefed on that one too.
I guess objectively, like earlier today when you were playing your Lost Box game, with the Lost Box or Zora Box, you were just going to the discard. Lost Box is in a position where you have to put things gone forever.
Yeah, something you can't get back.
Yeah.
Zoro Box, you just play out of the discard pile. You know at some point you can probably get that back.
And
So,
like the thing about playing out of your discard is that they see it coming. They know what's about to happen.
Yeah, typically.
Before they happen. So like a good player can plan around it usually.
Yeah, I mean you still play Force Arenas and like I mean you can usually hit the thing you want to hit because that deck all you have is Worker to draw 3 and discard Temple of Sinnohs, and then you have Bird Keeper to switch out, draw 3, and then you have Serena to either draw cards or pull up something. Because in that deck, as long as you have 2 Chinchinos, you're not even worried about drawing cards. You just usually can find it. And then as long as you get an attacker, you just throw the attacker away. As long as you can rod Zoroark once, that gives you 5 attacks. And as long as you take a 2 prize one time, you win. So you don't really only need to play 1 rod, as long as you find all the pieces.
this sounds like a pretty good video. You guys playing each other out. Best out of 3.
It's true.
Battle of the Boxes.
I like Zoroark. I bricked once against Reggie's Thursday because I just didn't draw anything. And then he was like, you just want to play again? I was like, yeah, let's play again. And I was just taking a knockout every turn. And then it got to where he just wanted to deck him out instead.
Needs some respect on its name is Reggie's.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Like
I don't hate it. I think it's pretty cool, and that was like the number one thing after we all read it. We're like, that's pretty gimmicky. How you gonna pull it off? But then like
It works.
you have all the stuff.
I hate the 130.
Yes, 130 is super annoing.
That's the deck. Like I said, it. You have to respect it.
Yeah,
You have to know how to play against
gotta
it.
respect it.
But being 130 is just a bit too shy for my liking.
I like how much when I play Lost Box, how much it forces me to think.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love that I have to think so hard about how to mess up their game plan to get them to do what I want them to do. Like I need them to use their scoop ups. I need them to like I need you to use all your resources because I'm making it super awkward for you.
Yep.
When I'm going against Reggie's, I'm like I'm not thinking about how do I knock out what's in front. I'm like how do I make their next turn suck for them?
Where they have to Marty.
Where they have to Marty. Where they have to scoop up net. Where they have to do something. I'm like, how can I make their life awful?
That's what I did.
And that's how I play the match.
Game 2, I was just hitting with energy assist, just putting 40 down, and then I was making him play his nets. Because, 130 is just a really good number. But that's also why I'm leaning towards Zoro Box, because I can beat a lot of the single prize things. And a lot of the meta 2 prize things, as long as I play it correctly, I win.
I just need to bring back Baby Zard.
Baby Zard is pretty good.
You gonna cook him tonight? Sweep him again?
Keegan gave me his whole deck. It's right over there.
I found my old one.
Yeah.
It's just in the closet. So
It's
there's
2023. It doesn't have to be in the closet anymore, dude.
Huh?
It's 2023. It doesn't have to be in the closet
I
anymore.
know, it can just come out.
What's on the list? What else we got? We talking about discussing?
Yeah, we kind of moved into it already. What else do we think we're going to see at Orlando? What are going to be the top?
You.
What are going to be the top 4 decks? It's going to be Lugia. It's going to be Mew. It's going to be this
Percentage-wise
nonsense,
or top
and then
8?
it's going to be. I'm just saying top 4 like types.
Percentage? Like player percentage, or are you talking about like
Top.
what's gonna be in the top?
No. Like top 4 played decks.
Okay. Then
I'm gonna say
I
it's
think
Lugia.
100% it's Lugia.
It's going to be
Number
this
1.
Vikavolt nonsense. I don't think it's going to be number 2.
I think Reggie's gonna be number 2.
So you think Reggie's going to be high? I think Mew's going to be high, and then I think some sort of this Vikavolt stuff, and then your 5th is your Lost Box, because there's so many different types of this.
Mm-hmm.
Lost Box probably 3.
Yeah, I think Lost Box is 3rd.
Yeah.
It could be 2nd because the problem.
It could be 2nd.
The
There's too
problem
many
with how they
variants.
break it down is they break it down into
Yeah.
the variants. So I think it goes Lugia, Lost Box, Reggie's, then Mew.
And then your Vikavolt
And then Vikavolt.
nonsense. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that's pretty much what we're going to run into. So, I don't know. I may just
There
lean
also
towards
could
playing.
be a big shift because, like, what? It was 34% of all players in San Diego played Lugia, but only, I think there was, I want to say, like, a handful of Lugias that made day 2. Like,
Yeah.
not very many that made day 2.
Yeah, I remember them saying that.
What's the thing, too? Like, Lugia
So-
now is in a weird position where, like, it's no longer the same Lugia deck you play against one another. Like, there's like 5, 6 different cards that you switch up, and
Yeah.
it's a different deck.
Because Lugia is the perfect example of meta-analysis.
Yeah,
It
it's a
only
toolbox
has-
deck. You put in what you
It
want.
only has, 5, 6 slots of what you can switch. Every other card, every other deck is going to be 56 of the same cards.
Yep.
So you got to go, what decks do I
What
foresee,
am I going to see the most
and how do I answer them?
after I hopefully win my first match?
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then if you lose that first match as Lugia, your day just gets 10 times harder because you're planning for the top, not the bottom. So the bottom is just gonna gatekeep you.
Here comes Big Teeny VMAX.
Ice Rider and Big Teeny and Baby Zard and
Yeah. I should have...
Shadow Riders.
I'll have a lot of options. I ordered all my Lugia stuff. I should have...
I-
I can build any Lost Box thing. I've got Mew already, DT Mew. I've got...
We already
I don't
have all of the decks I have built.
Right,
So,
yeah.
like,
I just
I
ordered
do.
it to have it that way, whatever.
but I also... I see Shadow Rider doing something. I think that's
Shadow Rider
going
SPL?
to be...
That's a match I will lose as
Yeah.
Zorobox if they're smart. All I gotta do is Shadow Miss me, and I
Yeah.
cannot win.
And I think that's what a lot of players forget about playing Shadow Rider. I think most of the time people see Shadow Rider and it's like an intro deck, but they forget about Shadow Mist.
Mm-hmm.
Shit's on a lot of decks.
Shadow Mist literally just beats DT Mew. If
Yeah.
they're not playing Fusion Mew.
They already win
can't
with the weakness though too. I don't think you can lose that very easily.
What?
Oh, sorry, it's not. They're both psychic. My bad. For some reason I was thinking dark. Yeah, you win with just Shadow Mist.
Yeah, they literally can't play the game. As long as you don't draw more cards than them, they can't win.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. New question. What do you feel about Eternus? VMAX.
Eternus.
Is he coming back? Is it just-
Eternus is not allowed to come back because on paper you think it's good into Mew, but Mew bodies it. Mew will just stop them from getting E-turn set up, and it will just win. Because most Mew lists right now are on Tempo Mew, so every time we attack, we're landing Path. So you can't just easy answer us with Drapion back. And also, we can also play around it. So we can limit our bench after, like, later in the game. We can just do the 2 Genesects Oricorio and the Mew or whatever. Or 2 Genesects and a Mew. So then you have to still attach. So you have to find that extra card because it's not reduced for free.
What do you think after rotation? Does he come back or not?
I think it's a
How do
little...
you get around the Weezings though?
So most Mew lists are playing all of the cross switchers,
Yeah.
Serena, and a boss or two.
And an escape rope. Most
And
have
an
one.
escape
Most have one
ropes.
escape
So
rope, yeah.
most of the time they're not setting up two.
Yeah. It's
And-
not. And it's
and-
obviously it's not like item lock. You don't have to wait
Yeah.
a turn as long as you move it from the spot.
Yeah. And if you just get that little bit or that one turn,
Yeah, you just need one
you're
or two
thinning
turns.
your deck to the point where you don't need Genesects after that. That's why
yeah.
Path is in the deck.
If you
Because
find one or two energies.
after
then
you thin that one big turn, you don't need to do it again. Most of the time, if you thin right. Or hit the right cards in the right order.
I still don't know how they. All they gotta do is attack twice.
I've played the
Or attach
crap
twice.
out of that matchup, and Mew wins
More often than not.
7 out of 10 games.
That doesn't make sense to me, but
Johnny K, if you're watching the video, let us know the numbers down below, please.
yeah,
I know you got them down.
he's the numbers guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say Alec and I have been jamming that match.
I feel like it would be so easy with Eternatus.
It's not. On paper, it is, but it's not because you're benching all those 180 liabilities with all of my gusts.
Yeah, all right, yeah, that makes
All
more.
the-
With all
that
of
makes
my,
more
yeah.
sense now. Yeah,
You're
I
playing
forgot
what,
about
3 or
it.
4 pro
If you're
cards?
just taking 2 prize cards at a time, yeah, that's fine.
So
That makes more
as long as you gatekeep their first Eternatus and don't let it set up, they can't like one hit answer without Drapion. And then if they go for that cheeky bench Drapion earlier, you just boss around it and land Path and make them find that stadium.
How many things do they need in play to one hit you though? Not very many.
It's 30 times dark Pokemon, so they need
It's including your active.
it's a dark Pokemon in play. So
So
5,
120.
5,
20, 150. That's only
6.
300.
They need 6.
5 with a choice?
Yeah, 5 in choice or 6. But that
Yeah, it's not as
path
strong,
path also makes it
Yeah.
weird for them because they can't get that
Yeah,
6.
you just get the 5. Yeah.
So like it's
So they
Yeah.
really got to pick and choose.
yeah.
Ugh.
And then you can't just rely on Moltres if they path you because you can't Dire Flame Wings to it.
Most Eternatus aren't playing Moltres anymore.
Baby Moltres either?
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
I think you win with Baby Moltres and you win with Big Moltres.
Because they're just relying on the tempo style.
Yeah.
They're just doing Galarian Weezing to take a few prizes until they get their
Make it awkward for
board
you till they're hitting
super set
strong.
up, and then they're going to start playing the game.
Mm.
They hope that they've set up enough.
Just all you out to.
What if you bring a Turbo you turn back with the E-switches and Moltres?
What do you do against single prize decks?
You should still be attacking turn 2. You got
Yeah,
300.
but
You got 340.
you're not favorable because you're doing damage to yourself with the Moltres.
Terrible.
Well, no, I'm
Pokemon.
just saying that's how you suit it,
Yeah.
and then you E-switch. So you're still hitting with the Eternus, and it has 340 HP.
I don't know.
Depends on what the single prize deck is, but yeah.
And if you rely on the turbo build, then how do you beat Vika? Because you don't get to play those items that you want to turbo.
I don't know. They don't. Well, they don't. Does Vigavolt play Path? They don't play Path.
No.
So you should still
they
be
play
able-
Aerodactyl V-Star, though.
Oh, that's true. Well, I mean, you don't necessarily
That's Path
have.
on the stick, and it's dark. It's dark, so it's hitting weakness on each turn, too.
Yeah, but you don't necessarily have to. What's hitting weakness? Oh, Aerodactyl.
Yeah.
You can still just use Moltres. It's Choice Belt. Like, that's easy knockout on
You
Big
can't play it on your choice boat because you're an item lock.
Yeah.
Bam! Boozled, boys.
It's rough.
Yeah, I guess so.
I just don't think it turns in the right meta space.
Good. I hate that deck.
Makes sense why we haven't seen it for a long time.
I mean, it was number...
It does sound,
It was the
it
fifth
does
most
sound
played.
really good, but...
It was the 5th most played in San Diego.
Was it?
Yep.
Look at that booger.
Interesting.
I would technically call it the 4th
Or
because
nappy.
there was 2 variants of Lost Box in the
Does it count as like
stats.
4 and 5?
Yeah. It was 2 and 4, I think.
What else are we gonna see? That's about it, right? No U-turn. I mean, we'll see U-turn, but
It'll still be there
it'll still be there.
because
People are still
it
hoping
gives
to
you
beat
those
Mew,
free
I'm assuming.
wins. It gives you the free wins that
With
a
Weezing.
lot of people want.
Yeah. Or you play the game long enough, and then your opponent doesn't scoop fast enough, and then you...
You win game 1 and, oh, cool, I guess we can't finish a game 2.
Yeah, we're just chilling now.
Oh, my shoulders.
What should I play?
I didn't play Mew, Lost Box, or if I can build a 0R deck, I play that.
That's what you want to play?
I think Mew just very consistent. It just does its thing.
Should we play the same 60 and see who does better?
Cam Miles is really big on that whole team thing. That you play the same thing no matter what.
Yeah.
It's for testing purposes.
Yeah, testing purposes. But also, if you're going to an event with like 8, 9, 10 people, and you're like all agree that this is the best, that's usually what they do.
Yeah.
So, and like somebody's deck will be 2 cards different, 3 cards different, whatever. But everybody's playing the same thing. I don't know. I don't know what to play yet.
That Grant Mallet that you sent me looks really good.
The Lost Box one.
My biggest thing that I foresee me doing is running out of mental juice. Because that deck takes so much brain power.
Yeah, any Lost Box does really.
Yeah.
See, most lost boxes have some leeway, but that one,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like you have an inch of gameplay error.
Yeah.
You were watching me every Lost Zone choice. I was like, I don't need this in this matchup because that means I can go like this.
Yeah.
And then one of my flower selectings, I was like,
I
I need these 2. What do I do?
Yeah.
I need both of
I
these
hate
cards. And I
that.
was like,
That's the worst.
and then you have to adjust your prize map because one of these has to go. There's no take backsies.
Me and Megan talked about that because we were talking about what we would play, and she was like, "Yeah, I think because she played Malamar at the last one, she was like, I think that was a bad choice because there's a lot of thinking that go along.
Oh, I
with that too.
I love that deck.
It is very fun, but yeah, and then she was on the same, and I was like, I don't know if I want to play Lost Box for 9 rounds, and she's like, I don't think I want to either. But it is a very good choice of something to play, but it's mentally straining more than the other decks.
Yeah.
Because you don't get constantly put in
Tough situations.
how do I find this one card, or why am I have to discard or have to lock on one
Every
of
deck
these.
has that amount of thinking. Like Mew is like, how lenient can
Not
I be
when you're
with?
throwing stuff in your lost zone.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
Yeah.
the current Mew lists don't have any recursion anyway. So your discard is your lost zone.
Yeah.
So, like, what's the difference?
There's just more pieces you need. Mew has a lot of fluff in there.
But, like...
Lost Box is, like, straight up, like, you need...
Those energies.
You need... Yeah,
like,
like, the energies are way more important than some other decks.
Because you were digging for Mirage Gate. I need one Mirage Gate. I need one Mirage Gate.
Yep.
Father's like, you got two of them. Mm-hmm. You got to throw a roll. You need both of them. You needed both of them.
I only needed one at that time.
Because, but you need one more later on in the game.
Yeah, I need one more later on in the game. And that's why the list is on forward, because we know that
Mirage
one
Gate's
time
so
we're
busted.
going to have to throw one Mirage Gate away.
Mirage Gate's so good. I will never play a deck without 4.
Yeah.
Mirage Gate's so good. Because if you play 3 and you see one, you have to keep it. And then that makes your other choices way worse.
Yeah.
Because if you play 4, then you're like, I've seen one. I can throw it away.
Yeah.
Then you'll be like, I need the other 3. And if you don't know what your prizes are yet, depending on where you're at in the game, then it's even harder to choose that. That's why the Lost Boxes are so hard. And I really like the engine, but it's just
rough.
So rough. Like, you can play some games and you're just like, that was so fun, that was awesome, I hit all the stuff I needed, I got to do Rayquaza, Raikou, Sableye, whatever, and it just feels so good. And then you'll play the next game and you'll be like, this deck sucks. I'm never playing it again.
I felt so good earlier when I beat that Mew player, dude. It was dirty.
And then you play game 3 and it goes back the other way.
I prize mapped the crap out of that dude. you heard me prize mapping the whole time. I'm like, if he does this, then I get to go like this. If I do this, then I get to do like this. And that's another reason I like Lugia, because every turn you're navigating. If I do this, they're going to answer like this. Mm-hmm. If I do this, they're going to answer like this.
They should answer like this.
Yeah. Prize mapping is such a huge thing.
It's also a skill within itself.
I think another card that you guys
thing.
need to include in your deck for San Diego, I think a lot of people
for
have already...
Orlando,
but I think a lot of people forgot about it. Tool Jammer. I think Tool Jammer is way too good in this format.
Tool Jammer Scrapper?
No. Tool Jammer.
Well, yeah, you can scrap them too.
You
get 2 things with a scrapper.
Because it shuts off like your Lost Box's air balloons.
The air balloon, yeah.
It shut like if you're playing Mew, it shuts off their Lugia's one-hit capabilities because they need that choice belt. And if you force them to use your vacuum, then that path is sticky. So like, there's also that.
Yeah, because a lot of those decks only play like one vacuum.
Mm-hmm. You're using one of their stadium bumps. And then,
dude, let's build a deck where we got 2 jammers and 2 scrappers. Let's try to work 4 cards into a deck.
4 crushing hammers?
No, I'm not playing that card.
Let's go, dude!
I'll play Pokemon Catcher before I play Crushing Hammer.
So, like, I think a deck that can definitely do that is... I think Mew can afford the Tool Jammer. Lugia can afford the Tool Jammer.
Yeah.
But I also think Shadow Rider with a Tool Jammer is nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just going to rely on 2 hitting everything regardless, and... You kind of want an air balloon at some points, though.
Move these around.
What do you think about playing the...
Intro decks? Let's go.
No, playing the... What's the thing that lets you move your tools? Shopping mall? What do you think about playing Shopping Mall? So that way you can pick and choose where your jammer goes later. A lot of decks wouldn't preemptively benefit from that. Like, nobody would know that you're going to play that, and so you play it on a turn where your opponent can't use it, and you can. I think Shopping Mall is really good too, but it would only be to be like moving to a jammer or picking up a
Shopping Mall and a Vika Vault deck would be dirty.
Or picking up your choice belt, because sometimes you don't want to throw the choice belt away, and you're just like, well, I'm gonna put choice belt on my Genesect so I can draw another card. Yeah. Or like, just for an example, you would never play it in that deck, but like, there's times where you just got to put a tool down to either draw a card or because there's no point in throwing it away.
You're gonna research. You have to research. You need that belt later on.
Yeah, so then you leave it in play and Shopping Mall and move it. Is that as often as you like, or does it move one thing?
Once a turn.
So you can just remove something?
You can pick something up once a turn.
Yeah, so you just have to put it back in your hand and then put it down on something else. Yeah. I don't know. It's just a weird card that I think it's cool.
I tried to make Silvally GX and expanded with that card. Because I was like, pick up the memory switch, pick up the memory switch, pick up the memory switch, and just always hit weakness.
That'd be pretty cool.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah.
But Expanded's not real, so.
It's in beta.
Not real.
It's in beta.
But back to the prize mapping thing. If your opponent has, or if you have 4 prize cards left, and they have a VMAX, do you ever swing into the VMAX at all, or do you
It
try to
depends
find?
on the board state.
Or do you try to find 2 Vs?
If I can get the VMAX, I'm going to go for it. But
How-
if I know it's going to be an uphill battle, no.
And
I'll
if
go for
what if they
support.
they have no single prize Pokemon?
How Miles explained it to me is think about how you win the game in number of attacks.
Yeah. The least amount of
If
attacks.
I go this route, I have to attack 4 times. How many times does my opponent have to attack to win? Oh, they have 3. I need to adjust now.
Mm-hmm.
So I can win in 3.
Yep.
So
So
like, you got to
sometimes
think
you-
about number of attacks. Like, if that VMAX is 2 hittable, then sure.
Go for it.
Yeah.
But you
sometimes
also got to
yeah.
think, is that V that they have on play 1 hittable?
Yeah, like could I one hit the V and then
Because that's
hopefully
five.
they put another one down and
That's
then
4
one hit it?
attacks.
Yeah.
Like, do I have 4 attack turns?
Mhm.
Do I have time for that?
I
So
have found myself do that too many times where I waste hitting something and I'm like, I only did it to do it. Sometimes you have
Yeah.
to because you have no cards to modify what you're doing.
Yeah.
But at some point in the game, you'll just swing into something and you're like, well, it's because of this turn that I will lose now. And that always sucks if you can't play
Because
it.
you always feel that one turn behind and you're like, this is where it was.
I got to pee.
That bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet.
I'll be back. Intermission time. It hit me like 20 minutes ago. I was like, I can hold it. Nah, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, prize mapping is huge, and I've been getting a lot better at it. And I'm also very cognizant about my prize cards. Like,
Mhm.
I need to have this in my hand because this is in the prize cards. I'm about to take 2 prize cards, so I don't need this in my hand because I could get it off of here.
Yep. I've had to check prizes more often than late. I usually don't care, but when you're practicing, you got to worry about it. But I had to use a choice belt for something. And I knew I played 2, and I'm like, that's fine. On this next turn, I got to find the other one, though. And then I got to wait to search the deck and realize it wasn't even in there. So then it didn't matter. I was like, well, I could have saved my choice belt instead and then hit a different attacker.
Yeah, from that point on, you're like... Once you find out, if you're in that situation, then you're like, okay, so how... Then you think about your prize order that you had originally, and you need to switch it.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go, I need to take this prize before this prize now because that's in there, and
'Cause I gotta find
I
my
gotta get
belt
it out
for
of there
that
before
one.
I can do that. So
Yeah.
then you have to modify your order of attacks, and you're
Yeah.
like, how can I get my opponent to allow me to do this? Like you're like, how can I get them to let me do this to them?
Yeah.
Which feels really tricky, but that's how the game works. Like
That is
that's
how the
what a
game
lot
works.
of like introductory people don't think. They're like they think
Correct.
they're playing solitaire.
Yeah.
When in my head, we're playing chess. Like
For sure.
you're playing chess with me with checker pieces. Like you're not gonna win.
Yeah.
You can only move forward or jump.
That was one of my biggest downfalls, I think, when I first started playing. I've always been pretty good at it, but
How do I take the prize this turn?
Yeah, or just like doing it in the
that
right
was,
order.
That was why I like Lapras so much, because it was like, okay, I'm knocking out what's in front of me.
Yeah.
I just got to figure out how
And
every turn to
yeah.
take a knockout.
I typically play decks the same way as well.
The game is so much more than that. It's like,
It is.
how do I need to take 6 prizes.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean 3 attacks. That doesn't mean...
Yeah, it doesn't mean 2, 2, 2.
Yeah, like
That's
there's so many... And then
Yeah.
the healthy meta we're in is so many different combination of decks, like prizes.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, we have Mew that's either a 3-2 or it could be 3-2-1.
Yeah.
We got Lugia that's 2-1. We got Reggie's or Lost Box. Reggie's is all 1. Lost Box is usually 1-2s.
Yep.
Eternatus is 3, 1, and 2.
Yeah.
Like, we got such a healthy spread that
Yeah.
like
That's definitely something you got to think about if you want to be serious about playing Pokemon. Like, be actually competitive. Like, there's a lot. People look at the game and think it's like so
linear.
basic, and it is fairly linear, but there's way more that goes behind your choices. You
There's a
can't just-
reason that top players are in the top all the time.
There's a reason the game still exists after 25 years of Pokemon cards,
Yeah,
and that 1,300 people show up at regionals.
yeah.
The game is way better, way more fun. You can make it as fun as you want it to be.
Yeah.
You can play as serious as you want. If you want to be really, really good, there's a lot more things to think about than you would even want to think about.
Yeah.
Game is super fun.
And the also great thing about it is that Standard doesn't feel toxic. Standard,
Standard's
it's
good
super cheap. So if you're like, you invest in this deck and you're like, crap, it's not viable anymore. You take 70% of those cards and go to the next.
Most likely, yep. About
You
that
just
number.
go to the next. Like where
Find your style.
Magic, you had to buy a whole new deck that's like $150
minimum.
Where if you go from Lost Box to Lost Tina or Lost Box to Reggie's or something like that, you're keeping 50% of the cards.
Yep.
Like, you don't have to buy all of them. And then, like, the deck's already at such a cheap price point that, like, you can adjust to the standard meta, whatever it is at the time. Which is, I think, is really healthy for the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why so many people are still getting into it. Still, 1,300 people regionals.
Yeah,
Still...
I've typically when somebody starts playing, that'd be like one of the first things I tell them. Like, even if you buy one of those kind of crappy intro decks, it's 20% of that's pretty good. So if you're buying one for you and one for a friend to just like play, you're halfway to a decent deck. And if it can use some of the Pokemon as well, you're almost there. And so I try to, tell people like, hey, if you do spend money to build a deck and you want to build another one, you're more than half the way there every time. Because you get the supporters, you get the whatever.
Pokemon nowadays even understands that concept. Like, a lot of players don't have access, and they don't want to bust packs to get the cards they need.
Yeah.
And buying the signals at the time sucks. So the new intro decks, like the Shadow Rider or Ice Rider ones,
yeah,
they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're making better ones now.
The Mew one, I mean, it's, 50% of the way done for
Cameron
a Mew
doesn't know
deck.
'cause he lost his.
And then also we have the trainer toolkits. This one was a little bit lackluster, but still
toolkits busted.
Still pretty good.
Yeah.
If you're talking to somebody who's starting to play and they've got $30 or $20, no matter which toolkit
you get some
buy it.
good tools for deck building, and you get to crack some packs.
Yep.
Like, you're just
You get
literally
both.
spending the money to buy the packs, and you get all of these trainer
And
cards
if
for
you
free.
don't have sleeves yet, like if that's how you're starting,
there's some slivers in there. There's
Some dice.
a good storage
Dice, too.
box. It's a good storage box.
sure, you can carry extra cards in it. I used that for a while to carry cards.
I do that now still.
Speaking of cards to buy, though, before rotation, what do you buy?
Fog Crystal.
What do you stock up on?
Fog crystals.
Fog crystals.
Judge.
I think Judge is a good
Cross
card.
switchers. I think you got to get them.
I don't know, because we're probably moving towards like a single prize evolving into the double prize. So you're gonna have to have a lot of consistency in your deck. So I don't know if a lot of decks will be able to afford.
I think you're just going back to boss.
Yeah.
Because Serena
Yeah,
is...
Serena is basically gonna mostly be gone. I think most decks will still play one because it is that option.
Yeah,
And
sometimes
most decks are gonna still rely on like a Luminion or some kind of supporter like that. Supporter Pokemon that can be an easy 2 prizes. So I think most decks are still gonna play one because it's the versatility of the card.
So what other cards you buy?
Crobat.
No.
That's
They're
rotating.
Oh, never mind.
Fake news.
Find nest balls if you want, because evidently we're getting that.
Nest balls, we were getting.
Keep your old ones, dig your old ones out.
Keep your pallet pads. They're getting a reprint.
Level ball.
Yes.
Most people have level balls.
I think-
It was in battle style, so I think
Yes.
level ball is going to be used because
Yes.
as far as we know,
Because we're single price.
yeah,
Yeah.
as far as we know, we're down to that. We've got feather ball and
Ultra
ultra
Did I
ball.
see the Great Balls getting a reprint? I don't remember.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Well, what else?
It might, but even though...
Just for the people, what else you stuck up on? What's good to buy now before they get too high? I mean, if you don't have your battle VIPs, you want those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that card is still going to be
If you don't
used.
have Mew built, build it because it's a powerhouse now.
Yeah, and you're not losing.
And it's sitting
anything
where
from
it's
it.
at now.
Yep.
When the rotation happens, so it just goes from here to here because it's not moving, but everything else is moving down.
You don't lose anything in that deck besides for quick ball.
I think Knoxville, that's the play Mew for us.
Probably, yeah. I would think so. Because
I
these
gotta check
other
the
new
dates,
cards.
but I think Knoxville's gonna be the same meta. I think it's literally that cutoff. I think it's like right at the 2 weeks. So I don't think it's legal for it.
It's 3 weeks after Orlando, so you should Crown Zenith cards will be in there. Pretty sure.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think
But-
Miles and I were talking about it's gonna be the same meta we're in now.
Gotcha.
Regardless, Mew's still the move for me.
He's the numbers guy.
Yeah, that's true.
He's the numbers guy. He's already...
So fog crystals, level balls.
Your consistency cards. Just keep it
Yeah.
consistent.
What else? Something
If you
doesn't
like
think
a
about.
Pokemon-
Trying to think of another one.
You just gotta fill
Switches.
your deck with...
Escape rope.
Switch, escape rope.
Escape ropes in the battle style, so to stay.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you don't have
Yeah.
any, get some.
Battle VIP pass. Scoop up nuts?
Those are gone.
Those are gone.
I think the card that a lot of people have forgot about and that we should stock back up on is Avery. Because if you think
yeah.
about,
I have tons of
we're
Averys.
about to be evolving into
Oh, we do.
our attackers. So Avery is gonna throw a whole wrench in a lot of people's plans.
What set was that in?
That was Chilling Reign.
Oh
it's
man,
staying.
that's
I
tough.
got
Yeah.
full watch, bro. Let's go.
I gotta just verify because that makes me sad.
Yeah, Avery.
Reggie
Deck with
gone.
Avery. Chilling Reign. Good thing I got 6 full arts.
How
and
dare
a
you
bunch of regular
question
ones.
me?
Hey, I just want to make sure it's for the people.
No, I was wrong about Beedrill the other day. Did you know Beedrill's Chilling Reign and not Battle Styles?
Yes.
I didn't. I thought it was Battle Styles.
Oh, speaking of Beedrill, that's what I wanted to play in Orlando. Just a Arceus box with Beedrill. Beedrill, Zapdos, or I could just put the Aerodactyl in there. Arceus, Aerodactyl, Beedrill. I get my stuff, I shut their stuff off. If they put any special energies, which is tons of decks,
Yeah.
Beedrill's getting you. And then for the weird dark things, like if Eternatus is there, Beedrill's your grass, and it one-hit knockouts
No.
not the Eternatus.
Yeah.
It knocks out Moltres if they play it.
They're also playing Hiding Darks.
Yeah, so you might
Yeah,
get
yeah.
the
If
KO
they
on
put
that.
one down. But yeah, I was thinking about doing that, and then you have your fight hitter if you want to use. You can also play Zapdos in there because you just win the matchup with that card against Eternatus. But yeah, you can play the Aerodactyl 1/1 line if you wanted. Bust that out against Lugia.
I
Who's
think
your number
Makani
one?
Tran, is that
But-
that guy's name that played the Arceus counterbox in San Diego and
Yeah.
got like 5th?
Yeah.
That kid is cracked.
Yeah.
That kid is so good.
Yeah. So I was thinking about playing something like that, and I love Beedrill. Just to do Beedrill again. It's like one of the most upsetting things to do to somebody. They just have this big load up thing with a special energy, and you're like, there you go. And like
yeah.
big parasols in things, but like big parasols kind of like most decks play one.
And if you're going for the single strike strategy, Lost Vacuum doesn't hurt at all because it just helps you thin out your hand.
Yep.
So I don't think there's a reason that you don't play 2, at least.
Yeah, and then you get rid of the parasols if they're in
Yeah,
play, and then
so,
it
like-
thins your hand more to play the
Yeah.
mustard. Yeah.
To Beedrill again.
Yep.
Doesn't move them?
I might be on the Beedrill train because I thought about that yesterday.
Put a list together, and guess who has the top 5 decks and can pilot all of them?
Johnny K.
I still have my Beedrill together from when I had it before.
Oh, it needs updated.
Yeah, but I still have all the Arceus. I have the Zapdos. I have all the energies in there, like it's ready to be played. I got the Luminions in there to find it. So I might be leaning on that to at least test that again against things because every top deck right now has
Special energies.
even Palkia. If they don't pay attention, they put down the wash energy, and then you can squeak out a knockout there. Especially if they put on their Kyurem for some reason, and then you.
I don't
see you
think
later.
Palkia will see any play anymore.
People are still playing Palkia.
I think
Kyurem.
it was Palkia Kyurem is not a meta deck.
People are still
No.
playing it.
I think Buck can tell him to be back. We'll see more of that than we see Kieran.
I think so.
I don't think Kyurem. The problem with Kyurem is it takes like a 50-50 to every deck and doesn't have a favored.
Yeah,
So you're flipping a coin and hoping that you.
you just
heads.
win with aggression on that.
Not even like even if you can be super aggressive and still lose matches because you give up 3 prizes. Like it's just such a tricky thing to deal with, and that's why I say like it can win against any deck, but it can also lose against every deck.
That's kind of the same with every deck, though.
No, most decks are
I get what you're saying,
gonna
though.
vary,
But yeah.
vary and like have good matchups, have bad
It's
matchups.
not as favorable
Where
as
Kyurem is
other
like-
things.
I don't care what you're playing. I think I can beat you.
Yeah.
It's not like you flip over something and you're like,
You're
crap,
true.
I
It's just
can't
like
beat
flipping
that.
a coin. Yeah.
So like, it doesn't have a favored matchup. I can't think of a match that it's like favored into except for Arceus Groudon.
Big teeny.
Yeah.
And Victini, I guess. I was
There
wrong.
you go. Yeah, because nothing right now is weak to water either, so that's kind of a bummer.
Victini.
Well, yeah, no, just saying, nothing else.
Bro, you don't beat Victini with V's. You beat it with Inteleon.
I think there'll be less. I think there'll be less Inteleons though, because if people are really scared about item lock.
That was my favorite thing to do.
But, yeah.
Was just Inteleon or Victini because you couldn't take a one hit back.
Hit for 100, 130 with Leon,
Yeah.
and still not knock you out.
And I go bop again.
Yeah.
What's up next, guys?
We'll show you the pre-release promos for Scarlet and Violet. So if you don't want to see them, don't look.
Before
Look
that,
away.
shout out to our sponsor, Monster Energy. I'm thinking, is Miguel really gonna drink 2 monsters today? I am.
He was gonna drink 3, but he gave one to me.
I forgot to shut that up.
Still juicy. All right, pull him up here.
You should go to the left.
No. Told you the right.
Don't even worry about that game. All right. So there's 4, like there always is.
What?
They are from the starter sets. So Revavroom is a metal Pokemon. Has 140 HP, and it evolves from Varoom. The ability is Rumbling Engine. You must discard an energy from your hand in order to use this ability. Once during your turn, you may draw until you have 6 cards in your hand.
Is this stage 1?
It's kind of busted. It is a stage 1.
It's pretty good. Especially since this comes out when we lose Quick Ball, and a lot of people rely on Quick Ball to discard things.
Correct.
So that's pretty good.
But you have to discard energy.
Yeah.
But it's also steel, and then if you want to keep on playing with
Metal Sauce.
some Bronzong, well, Saucers will be gone.
Oh yeah, it is gonna be gone.
Well, you'll have them for a little while, but you can still play with Bronzong. So,
Not with Scarlet and Violet.
well, yeah, we'll have it for.
No.
Or,
When Scarlet and Violet comes out,
I was thinking
rotation
about, I was
happens
thinking about Crown
immediately.
Zenith. My bad.
Whenever the cards are legal, that's when rotation happens.
Then the attack on it is knockaway 90 plus. Flip a coin if heads. This attack does 90 more, and that's for 4. That's pretty
Busted.
hefty there.
Yeah, that's a cool looking Pokemon.
Baroom.
I don't know what's the Pokemon, what's not, what's going on in that card.
I'm not even worried about it.
Well, does it got a tongue?
Yeah, it's one of the boss's main character Pokemon.
Okay.
The bad guys.
Makes more sense now.
That's pretty cool. You can use it.
This card's silly.
I love this card.
So here's Hawlucha. Everybody knows Hawlucha. He's a basic fighting Pokemon, 70 HP. Its ability is Flying Entry. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may choose 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon and put 1 damage counter on each of them.
Better Goon.
It's a double ping.
False. It's a different Goon, because Goon can be active. A lot of times your
True.
Goon is to take the knockout you need.
Yep.
That requires more of preemptive thinking and can get played around a little bit. I think it does have a lot of merit.
So there's your Hawlucha there. That's pretty cool.
I would not call it a better Goon.
Less versatile Goon.
Big Brain Goon.
Yeah, big brain Goon.
And the attack is nothing special. Fight colorless, wing attack, 70 damage.
70 Ds?
1 retreat, weak to psychic. Then we have Palmot, Lightning, 130 HP. It is a stage 2. The ability it has is Charge Up. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for a basic Lightning energy and attach it to this Pokemon. Then shuffle your deck. The attack is Lightning colorless, Electro Paw, 230 damage. Discard all energy from this Pokemon. And it's weak to fight.
Bad.
Well, that thing's adorable.
230, never mind.
230 for a stage 2. It's only 130 HP. How often are you really going to pull that off? 230, choice belt 260. How do you buff it?
Free retreat. Flappy.
Okay. Free retreat's busted.
Flappy.
Well, retreat says 1 down here. So I don't know if it's a misprint or not.
That's definitely a misprint. There's something on that card. Yeah, dude. You
Yeah.
Flappy right on that.
One. Right on that what?
That card. I'm sorry. I'm doing better.
It seems not bad.
First
Choice
peep in the year.
belt 260. Things are getting less HP for if you catch people in their stage 1s and whatever.
Lucha.
Yeah, that's what
370.
that's what I'm excited about, because you can catch people in their
With
setup
these-
stage.
Yeah, with the strong.
Because right
small
now
guys.
in the game, there's no setup phase. It's we're going. Can you go faster than me? It's a race.
Yep.
Whereas now it's
slow.
like a setup. Like you need to plot your setup, because while you're setting up, you're vulnerable. So I think there's gonna be some early aggressive decks, and then there's gonna be the setup decks that if they get it set up, they win. So there's gonna be a lot of different variations, and that's what I'm super excited for.
I think you stock up on your Diancies then, maybe. Got a lot of setup going. You don't want them to boss you.
But if you're playing with stage 2s at that point, then you have to wait until you draw a rare candy because Diancie only collects your basics.
Rare candy, pick those up.
True.
Rare candies.
Oh yeah,
yes.
yeah, for sure. Rare candy. All right, the fourth one here is Quaquaval. Probably saying it like that. I don't know. 170 HP. It evolves from Quaxwell, which is one of the starters. What's the first one? Quaxley, yeah, is your water starter from the game. So the ability it has is Energy Carnival. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. The attack does water, colorless, Hydro Kick 140, weak to lightning, to retreat.
That's stage 2.
Stage 2, 170, and the attack's not that great, but the ability's pretty great. Oh,
I don't like that as once during your turn. Like if it's a stage 2 for Frostmoth ability, it'd be good. But it's like bad Frostmoth ability.
Yeah, and would you ever play 2 of them? No, because by the time you got them both to stage 2s, it'd just be like, that'd be a struggle to even
That's
get there.
at least 6 card slots in your deck.
Is Frostmoth even rotated out?
Yes.
Yep.
I don't know Pokemon, dude. I don't know why I'm here.
Hey, at least Water's getting hurt a little bit.
Thank God.
I mean, Water's not up there right now either, but it just has tons of support cards.
We're getting the big old...
It's going to be all about lightning. Stock up on your Flaffies if you don't have them, because you're going to need them.
The trainer gallery Flappies. That's what
Trainer gallery Flaffies. Or the gold ones. The gold ones aren't very expensive. They look nice too. So,
I'm sad we're losing the monkey.
There's your 4.
That was the most heartfelt, monkey.
Yeah.
Losing the monkey.
Those are your 4 pre-release. We
love them.
won't show anything else, but yeah, we're losing that primate wisdom.
I'm go back to being a big dumb.
Big
Dumb stupid head.
If you're watching, you know what to do. Monster energy.
Unleash the beast.
See, we're already practicing. Oh, I gotta take a drink too. Show respect.
You talking about bud?
Alright, I'll take a drink.
Those are good. Okay.
I'll take a drink. Just steal yours.
What's your closing thoughts, anybody?
I feel like I've put a lot of thoughts out there already today. I don't feel like there's much thinky thoughts left in my head.
Today was good.
That was a good day.
Talked about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Nothing at the same time.
And nothing at the same time. Let us know if you like this. We talked about more meta things. We had more discussions rather than talking about local matches. We are going to start doing some gameplay videos, though, and that might make up for the local match thing. But if you're a local fan and you play at the store with us and you're missing out on those and you like to hear them, let us know. We'll do small recaps of those.
Also, for those of you that helped us reach our goal for tats, if you want to see them, they're on our TikTok.
And they're on our bodies. Some of us will be willing to show you. Some of us won't.
I'll take my pants off right now.
Yeah, I'll take my pants off right now, too.
I don't know if I want to pop it.
You don't take your pants off. Yeah. Catch us next week. We'll have another one out.
Make sure to follow our social media.
Catch us on
TikTok,
social media.
Instagram,
We got the Instagram up, TikTok, Twitter. We need to make a Facebook page.
That's true.
And we're here on YouTube.
People.
Yep. We are old. We are old.
I feel old. I make dad noises.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Your body's in worse shape than ours. Because them knees.
Arguably.
Them knees. You got the bad knees.
And the hair.
You have hair?
No.
He's about to drift off that island, too.
The island peak.
Follow Ocho Cinco.
Alright, let's just...
Good thing I can guard it.
Whoa.
Let's move.
Alright, run her up.